Use this trick to get a perfect glitter ombre with dip powder nails. Achieving an ombre with glitter dip powder can be a little bit tricky. You want the glitter to be more prominent near one end of the nail as the glitter beautifully cascades down to create that ombre effect. But sometimes the glitter has a mind of its own, so if you use this beginner-friendly trick, you'll have a much easier time achieving that perfect ombre. Now, before you get into the ombre, you'll want to apply your base dip powder color. I generally use a technique to build an apex when applying my dip powder. To see the full step-by-step tutorial on how to do this, I've shared the tutorial video in the caption. Now, if you use this same technique, please note that I do skip the fourth layer, which is a full dip of the nail. This is to avoid the nails being too bulky when the ombre is applied. Once you've applied all of your dip powder layers, activate the nail and then buff the nail smooth. By applying the ombre to a smooth surface, you can avoid having to buff too much after applying the ombre. This prevents potential issues such as buffing away your glitter and ruining the entire ombre. So once that's all nice and smooth, it's time to ombre. So grab a fluffy brush. I like to use one that's not super fluffy to allow better control of the glitter. Now we're gonna apply that glitter ombre in 2 steps. For step 1, take your base liquid and try to remove as much liquid off the brush as you can. This is to keep that ombre layer as thin as possible without bulking up the nail and causing a whole big mess. Then apply your base liquid to 3/4 of your nail surface. I'm doing an ombre that cascades from the top of my nail, so I'm going to apply a thin layer of base liquid starting from the cuticle area, being careful to avoid the bottom quarter of the nail as we don't want any glitter sticking here. Now place your finger at a 45-degree angle, grab your fluffy brush and dip it into the glitter. Then you're going to lightly tap the bristles to apply the glitter across the nail. You really want a light application here. We don't want to go too heavy with the glitter, so just make sure that you tap very lightly. Then lightly pat the glitter down to ensure it's all laying flat and grab your toothpick and run it along the cuticle line to clean it all up. Once that base liquid is dry, brush off all the excess glitter and then it's time to move on to step 2. Grab your base liquid and again, remove as much of the liquid from the brush as possible. You really don't want to apply very much liquid here. Then you're going to apply the liquid only to the top quarter of the nail. And grab that fluffy brush again, dip it into the glitter, and then tap the bristles to allow the glitter to fall in the top portion of the nail. Then pat the glitter down to ensure it's laying flat, and then run the toothpick around to clean those cuticle lines. By doing this 2-step process, you can ensure the glitter has thicker coverage near the top while the bottom perfectly ombres into the base color. Now, once your second layer has dried, brush off any excess glitter, grab your base liquid, and apply to the entire nail. Then dip into a clear powder to encapsulate the glitter ombre. Once that's dry, brush off the excess powder and apply your activator. Since you've already done the brunt of the buffing, you'll only need to give the nail a very light buff here. Then follow your usual top coat application process and you're all done. You've just created a gorgeous glitter ombre with dip powder. Now don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any DIY nail tutorials and of course, lots of nail inspo.